Hello, I'm tntulak, and this is Filmmakering Like a Boss. Now, I don't claim to be an expert, but I am an award-winning filmmaker, and I have a passion for filmmaking, which is really all you need to get started. In the last episode, we started answering this two-part comment.
I'd like to see an episode about obtaining and maximizing a location like a filmmakering boss.
So in the last episode, we talked about securing a location that either you can afford or that you already have access to. In this episode, we're going to start talking about how to maximize your location. Maximizing your location is really a question of utilizing your location to its fullest potential. And the flip side of that is getting the most out of what little location you have, if you have a little location, which really just comes down to how you shoot your location to your best benefit. Let's say you want your scene to take place in a location that you don't have access to and can't afford, but your script requires that these people are in that location. Filmmaking is very suggestive, and it's all about mise en scène, which translates to what's on set, and in filmmaking that means what's in the shot. That also means what's not in the shot. I've talked about many times on the show the language of cinema, and now we're going to talk about how you can utilize the language of cinema to help amp up a location and how you can use this for your location when you don't really have one. If you film tight up on your actor's face and you use a lot of depth of field, then it might be more difficult for the audience to see that you're not in that location. If you do a lot of close-ups and you fill the screen with your actor's face so you can't even see your location, and then you have the actor saying something about how big that location is, then you might be utilizing the space outside of the screen to suggest that they're in a location that they're not actually in. On the other hand, if you want to shoot a little bit wider, have your actors a little bit farther away, and use less depth of field to show more things in focus, then if you have a good location that you want to show off, this is another way you can do it. Film a wider shot and put more things in focus to accent what your location actually is. Now, if you have a nice location that you really want to show off and you film primarily close-ups like this, then the background's going to be all out of focus. You're not really doing your location any justice because you can't even really tell what the location is. On the other hand, if you don't have the location that you want and you film a wider shot like this with everything in focus, good, that didn't fall, then it might be a little bit more easy to tell that I'm not in the location that I want to be. Another thing you can do if you have a great location that you want to show off, get those wide shots and get plenty of B-roll, exterior establishing shots, plenty of B-roll that you can put in there to show what your location and surroundings are. B-roll is also a really good tool to show the environment of your characters, which again goes back to your location. Understanding how to utilize the language of cinema to effectively get across the point that you want to your audience is a great tool for any good cinematographer. And again, I've got a whole lot more to say about it, but I just can't give it all away in one video. So hit that subscribe button so you can follow along on the next episode of Filmmakering Like a Boss. Here at the new end screen, I would like to invite you to check out some of my filmmakering in action. And I would like to invite you to consider supporting Easily Amused Group on Patreon. And thank you for watching the Easily Amused Group, the show that took out the Demigorgon with a wrist rocket.